Coach Cowher, when you joined the Steelers, your first-round draft pick was Leon Searcy. Can you talk a little bit about Leon in terms of the impact he had in the early years with the Steelers?
Well, my first pick was an offensive tackle, Leon Searcy, and what I loved about him was his toughness. So you talk about new coaches and trying to build culture. To me, there's no greater message being sent about the fact that we're going to be a running team and we're going to start up front. So we built our team from the inside out, and Leon Searcy was that very first building block. And I'm very proud to say that. Leon, I love you. Thank you for everything you did for us. You didn't say you're a man of very few words, but your actions spoke volumes.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate that.
Coach, can I ask you a Broncos question? I'm with Cowher, work with your pal Dave Logan. What do you think it'll take for the Broncos and Sean Payton to get this thing turned around, especially now with the question mark at QB?
Yeah, I mean, I think Sean, he's got a plan in place. There's a defense there. He'll get the offense figured out. I'm not sure what the scenario is going to be with Russell, but there's a little bit of a transition that's going to have to take place. And I think what he tried to do is start to build a little bit of that. They had a great run right there in the middle, which I think is very, very much a positive to build off of. Because I'm a big believer that how you finish years and the second half of the season can lead into the next year. So he came in trying to change the culture, came in with a new message. Now he's got to surround himself with people that believe in that same message and that fit his system.
Thank you.
Coach, I'm a huge Steelers fan, so you're an absolute legend to me. I got to know, what do the Steelers have to do this offseason to improve and build on what we had this season?
Well, I like Arthur Smith. I thought it was a great hire. He loves to simulate the running game, and that's a big part of him. He builds around that. I thought he did a great job with Ryan Tannehill down in Tennessee. You become the head coach, and you can't just judge an offense based because and then being the head coach. He was coaching the whole team. And I think that's a little bit, so look at him when he last was a coordinator. And I think what he did in Tennessee speaks volumes. And I think he's a great fit for Pittsburgh. Come to Pittsburgh, you better be able to run the football. Because people accept nothing less than that. And plus, let Kenny Pickett or Mason Rudolph, whoever their quarterback may be, allow them to grow into the offense. I talked about it before. We did the same thing with Ben. He walked into a team that had good defense. We had a running game. And we let Ben kind of grow into that position. And I think that's what Arthur will do.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach, a healthy Aaron Rodgers, how much does he help the Jets? And what's one move besides that the Jets, do you think, have to do this offseason to get back in contention next season?
Well, they have to address the offensive line. That, to me, is number one. I think you got the skill positions, you got running backs, and I think that with Aaron Rodgers, I love him as a player. And I think he's a leader with where he's at in his career. If he can stay healthy, I think he'll be a tremendous he's got a chance to turn that team around immediately. But I do think the biggest thing they have to do is address the offensive line.
Bill, Coach Shanahan has had his hard times at the Super Bowl, the few times he's been in. What would you say to him as a former coach?
You learn from every experience.
Yeah.
Take what you learn. And the fact that you continue to get there, you're doing something right. And don't overthink it. Sometimes I think that's the thing we do. We tend to overthink things. And go out there and play to win. Don't play not to lose. So I think that's the thing to me. And I know we did a lot of trick plays in the playoffs. We did a lot of things that were unconventional. And I think you have to be a little bit unconventional to win a championship because the talent is so even. And you can always say one's better than the other. But you get to this point, you're winning football games. So sometimes being a little unconventional when people are preparing for you is actually an advantage. So that's why I say go play to win. Don't play not to lose.
And you've been into like some of the aggressive things that we've seen in Super Bowls that stick with us, like Sean Payton's onside kick. Or
we had an onside kick. We had the Antoine Randall to Hines Ward. So I said, it wasn't one of Ben's greatest games, but we had enough things because you just don't know how people are going to respond, particularly young players who've not been there before. Brock Purdy's not been there before. So this would be new to him. You can say, well, it's just another game. No, it's not. It's a Super Bowl.
But Coach, that might say go not aggressive, right? That might.
But no, I would just say sometimes take the ball out of his hands. Let it be on me to make the calls. Let me not just count on you to go through your things that you got us here. Let me just try let me get an extra possession for you. Let me get an extra big play for you. So that's where the coaching becomes somewhat of a, rolling the dice a little bit. Yeah, that's not what we usually do. But you know what? You only have so many opportunities to win a championship. I wouldn't sit here. I'd rather risk and fail than never to have risked it all.
Coach,
Hey,
we
Bill,
have,
here, Bill,
Coach,
in your
we have
mind,
two offensive minds at the head coach of the Super Bowl. What is the role of the defense right now here?
What's that?
Like, we have two offensive minds in the
Right.
head coach, a big offensive minds. What is the role of the defense right now?
I think Steve Wilkes and Steve Spagnuolo, they're going to try to take away what they perceive to be your strength. Obviously, I think if Steve Wilkes is okay. I got to stop Travis Kelce. I can't let Isaiah Pacheco get going. And right now, if I'm on the other side, I'm Steve Spagnuolo. I don't want Christian McCaffrey beat me. I know Debo's going to get the ball a few times. Don't lose sleep on George Kittle. Oh yeah, and there's Ayuk who's going to be running those inside routes. So you have a number of things, but it starts up front with stopping the running game. If you don't stop the running game with the San Francisco 49ers, it's going to be a long day.
Coach, can you send a message for all the Steelers fans in Mexico?
Oh, Steeler fans, love you guys. We played down there in Mexico City. I think in 1996 we played Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning. You are the best fans ever. I hear from you all the time. I appreciate you. I know you appreciate the black and gold. Thank you for everything you've done and the support you've given over the years. Love you guys.
hey, Bill, in your mind, what do the Bills need to do to get past the Chiefs in the AFC?
Yeah, stay healthy. I mean, they were just so beat up this year. They're going to come. I said before, get into the dance is not a failure in losing. I lost 4 championship games, so I've been there before. Just keep getting there. Keep getting there, and then don't overthink it. You almost have to kind of loosen up a little bit, from that standpoint. So, like I said before, play to win, play not to lose. Get a little more people around Josh Allen. They can stay healthier on defense. I mean, I think what Sean did this year to get to that game speaks volumes. And I think defensively they were just a beat-up team. I think they missed Gabe Davis. I need to get another guy with Steph Diggs. And I think that will also help Josh Allen.
Thanks.
Coach, both head coaches in this game have developed pretty sizable coaching trees. Can you talk a little bit about the skill set required to develop coaching talent in addition to on-field talent?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the talent is like I was blessed. I had Marty Schottenheimer. I think when you look at Andy Reid, you look at his tree, look Kyle Shanahan, and out of Mike Shanahan and Sean McVay era, that kind of offensive style. It's just coaching, and to get to this thing, you're doing something. You're pushing all the right buttons because at some point you get exposed, right? I think a lot of times I say your strengths get you into the playoffs, and it's your weakness that will eliminate you. And I think both these guys have been able to mask whatever weaknesses they have on their team because they've done a great job coaching. So you don't get here just by happenstance, and I think both these guys are a great example of that.
And do you have a favorite Super Bowl memory from a game that you were not a participant in?
I mean, listen, I remember all those Steeler victories when I was a kid in Pittsburgh. So I remember the Lynn Swann catch against the Rams. I remember the Dallas Cowboys tight end dropping the ball in the end zone. So it was that. I've been with CBS. This is my 7th game at CBS, and there's been some good ones. The onside kick brought back memories that Sean Payton had against the Colts, and so that was a great game. And just even a few years ago, I was at the game. Hall of Fame when I went in, got named was a San Francisco Kansas City game. And I'll never forget that run that Patrick Mahomes down made that left sideline. So classic.
And what do you expect to see from Brock Purdy in this game?
Who?
Brock Purdy.
He seems unflappable to me. We'll find out. It's a Super Bowl. Steve Spagnuolo is going to give him a lot of different looks. He's going to come after him, not afraid to blitz him. So can he keep his composure? And I've seen no indication that he'll do anything less than that.
Thank you, Coach.
All right. Great.
Besides the Bills staying healthy, what else do you think they need to get over the hump?
I think just that. I mean, I think number one, I think more speed, give Josh Allen a few more weapons on the outside. And I think defensively, just continue to build. I mean, they had, again, a bunch of injuries. They're very close. I think Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And so I think, again, they're right there. And so I think it's just don't overthink it and just continue to get to the dance. All right.